Good morning and happy Friday from Radically Rational and radicallyrational.com. We knew it was against the law. We knew it was illegal. That was apparent and firmly established from the jump. But we didn't necessarily know that there was conscious, organized, criminal, willful intent until yesterday. And now we do. And that's the situation. We had a tight, organized conspiracy who knew its actions were illegal. Everybody knew their actions were illegal, and yet they persisted. They persisted in an effort to keep one man in power while risking the country and our sacred institutions and literally risking the life of the Vice President of the United States. Willful criminal intent. That's a game changer. And let me ask you this. Who in their right mind for a second would ever believe that the Constitution gave the Vice President of the United States unilateral ability to overturn the results of an election? Where would you get that idea? How would that even cross your mind? Why would you think that was possible, let alone perpetuate that lie and put the entire country at risk? And still, some of you persist in saying that it's no big deal. You're embarrassing yourself. You've been embarrassing yourselves all along. It's a very big deal. In terms of its threat to our form of government, it was the darkest day in American history. It was, in terms of an internal threat. And it wasn't just the day, it was the conspiracy that launched the day. The president knew he was breaking the law. The president knew that his efforts to convince Vice President Pence to fail to certify these results and return them to the states, he knew that it had no legal or constitutional foundation whatsoever, and yet he did it anyway. In the biggest act of selfish recklessness in the history of the American presidency. And still you continue to tell me that it was no big deal. He organized, instigated, incited, extended, and failed to stop a violent insurrection whose intent was, what do you call it? To overthrow the government of the United States. And still you tell me that it's no big deal. Just know this. We now know there was willful criminal intent. If you persist in this no big deal dodge, you are now willfully engaging in ignorance and in apathy and in dereliction of the duty of an American citizen, and you are engaging in willful denial. This isn't conservative. This has nothing to do with conservatism. Find another word. Judge Ludig's a conservative. Perhaps you read or heard his eloquence in condemning in no uncertain terms this criminal activity. Yesterday was a game changer because criminal charges generally are based on conscious criminal intent. We now know that there was, in fact, conscious criminal intent. Here's the thing. Mr. Eastman, I wouldn't want to be you. Jenny Thomas, I wouldn't want to be you. And Donald J. Trump, I would not want to be you. Because to paraphrase a yogiism, your futures are all behind you. And consider this for a moment. We have the wife of a sitting Supreme Court justice willfully engaged in willful criminal, conspiratorial sedition. But it's no big deal, right? And her husband, a sitting Supreme Court justice, won't even recuse himself on matters that relate to this cabal and to January 6th? That's responsible citizenship, let alone conducting oneself as an honorable Supreme Court justice? I don't think so. Let's talk sports for just a second. Yeah, the Warriors made it official last night, but they actually won this series in Game 5 Monday night back on the West Coast, because that's where they broke the Celtics' will. In my mind, what happened last night was just a foregone conclusion. A Canadian leading the U.S. Open. Let's face it, Canadians are nicer people than we are. They're way nicer. We should all go to school on Canadians and endeavor to be more Canadian. Now, Phil Mickelson shoots a 78 in the first round. Damn! Wasn't quite the 83 I was hoping for, but it's close. And I especially enjoyed that 4-putt double bogey. Nice. So with any luck at all, he'll shoot an 80 today and have to throw his clubs in the trunk as he drives off to Saudi Arabia or wherever. Cowboys, habitual line steppers, conducted an illegal practice. It was too physical under the CBA, so that's going to cost him an OTA next year. I don't think Mike McCarthy cares very much. And something that really did move me yesterday, did you see this? There are 90 players in the Chicago Bears camp right now. All 90 of them yesterday were wearing jersey number 41. Yeah, you remember Brian's song. They did that on the 52nd anniversary of Brian Piccolo's death at the age of 26. There is something positive to take from this. The particular form of cancer that killed Brian Piccolo, now almost 100% curable. We are radically rational.